In this video, I'm going to do a full case study overview of a brand that we've been working with over the last few months. And I'm going to show you the metrics 90 days before they started to work with us and now 90 days after, and everything that we've implemented for them. There's some great stuff in here, and this is a very good example of what we do for a lot of the brands that we work with. Let's hop into my laptop and let's go through this. So let's go through where this brand was at before. So before they started to work with us, this brand was managed by another agency, and the founder of the brand was unhappy with the performance, with the messaging, and overall just with the results. They knew that more could be done inside of the account, and they couldn't really scale due to low margins, poor LTV, and mainly only relying on email as retention. So you can see these metrics here. 2.1 million, this is over 90 days, 243,000, just shy of $250,000 coming from email, or from Klaviyo, should we say. And this is up 28%. So before it was, below 10% attributed revenue, here is 11%. Now, the way this brand has things set up with their attribution and with their funnel set up, this is pretty okay, I would say. Attribution is relative to the brand and a lot of other things. So this, I wouldn't get scared by this. This brand was doing okay. And you can see those metrics. Revenue per recipient, campaigns was 65K, 178K from flows, and about 6,000 coming from SMS. So let's dive into 90 days after and what we actually done. So 90 days after working with retention for brands and working with our team, you can see revenue is up 42% on the front end. However, the attributed revenue here was up 113%, and it went from 11% attributed to almost 17. Okay, big difference. So there was a lot done here, and this 113% increase wasn't due to one single thing. As always, there's a lot of different strategies that we do and that we implemented here over the first 90 days, and I'm going to give you a full overview of that. But you can see revenue per recipient, 21 cents. Campaign revenue is now 107,000 versus 65. Flows 412 versus 178. Total email, you can see, has doubled here. Okay, more than doubled. And then SMS has tripled. Okay, 16K. Still room for improvement here as well. So the first thing that we done was all around the flows. Okay, so we built new flows to align with the brand's messaging and their audience and really people that they're targeting. And we tested the flows that are getting the most delivered emails. And we made some changes based on stuff that we know works, based on running a lot of tests for a lot of other brands. And you can see some of the flow results below and some of the flows we rebuilt. Okay, so you can see these four here, we would have completely rebuilt, or we would have added new flows. That's why there's no percentage increase. And these other ones, we would have changed them inside of the flows. And one thing you want to be careful of when you're building complete new flows, a lot of the time you're best to A/B test against what's there. Because if you hop into a brand that's doing millions a month and you just come in and add a different flow, there might be something that can go wrong. So I always recommend A/B testing against it. Once yours is better, turn off the old one, put that one live, and it's a very safe way to do it. And that's what we've done here for a lot of the emails. So you can see big increase across the flows. The next thing that we done is we sent a lot more campaign volume. Now at Retention for Brands, this is something that we're quite bullish on and we do a lot, okay? If the brand is willing to let us push more volume, we want to send more volume. For some clients in Q4, we sent 75, could have even been 100 emails just in November, okay? But generally daily emails is what you want to push for if you really want to get things dialed in, okay? Now it's not perfect for every brand. If you're trying to build a big brand and community and stuff like that, it's not the best play. However, if you're driving for more revenue, it's a very good play. And you can see another video that I made on this channel talking about how we helped a client hit their first ever $1 million day. So you can see more campaign volume. And like I said, a lot of agencies or brands don't have the systems and the capacity to do this. However, it's something that we love doing for clients. And this wasn't just pushing sales, or offers. This was a lot of education, a lot of storytelling, a lot of brand building. And during this period, during the 90 days, after, we sent an extra 1 million emails compared to the previous period. So if you just think about that in regards to CPMs, it's so much more volume that we were doing, an extra 1 million emails, and that's why there's a lot more revenue coming here, and that's how we got that big percentage increase. And obviously that's just one part of it. So you can see we started here, which was actually slightly lower than the month before because we were testing things out. Then you can see we really ramped it up, and then we ramped it up again. So we were almost sending, here was about 600,000 emails. We went to 1 million, so we almost doubled the output. And then here, same again. Okay, so probably like 60% more. And then the deliverability score is thing number 3. So we worked on the deliverability. So we increased the deliverability score a lot. Before it was an average of about 60, and we got it to over 70. And this was with sending 60% more volume. Okay, so we didn't pull back the volume. We sent 60% more, and we were also able to get the deliverability score to over 75. Okay, and this was from re-engaging profiles, from excluding certain profiles, and of course sending to the best segments with the right cadence. Now, a lot of the times we will lean on some of our partners here for this. However, in this case, we actually didn't need to. Our team knew what to do, and we got the work done, and there's some great results in here. Next is subscriber growth. This was a big win. So subscriber growth grew by 34%. This is for a number of reasons. Number 1, we added in one of our partners, Alaya, for a pop-up on their store. So we can have a higher opt-in, but also we can A/B test much quicker and get better data. And we leverage their smart features as well. So there's, a lot of improvement there. The second one, this isn't the case for every brand. However, for this brand, based on their current setup, we were able to fix their opt-in for their funnels at checkout and make sure this was connected properly with Klaviyo. And we literally had such a massive inflow of leads because of this. Okay, so this allowed us to grow the list much quicker, but also to make sure that we recover more abandoned checkouts. So you can see during this period, there was a 34% increase compared to the previous period. And then the 5th thing that we did, and this is still early days, but this is going to be a massive win for this brand heading into this year. They're going to rely on this a lot, and this will allow them to get more profitable, increase LTV, and just scale faster. We added a new channel, and this was direct mail. As you can see here, we're leveraging Postpilot. If you haven't already, you can go back and watch the webinar that I done with the CEO of Postpilot a couple of months ago, and there's a lot of great insights there. But we done some initial testing here. We tested some different campaigns and we split tested these, and now we're gonna get it scaled up. We're gonna automate these campaigns and keep testing more, but the initial sends were very profitable and done very good. You can see revenue here, 6K. The ROAS was just about a 2.6, 39 conversions, 1% conversion rate, and you can see the cost here and the total send. So I'm really excited to scale this up. And obviously this doesn't include on the 113% increase. Super confident we'll get this to 30 to 50K a month with a 2.5 at 3x return, maybe even more. Okay. And really, there's still a lot to do inside this account, and we have a couple more partnered softwares that will be adding over the next 30 days, so we can really drive up performance here even more. And even the team is super excited about this because, yes, we're 90 days in, but there's still so much more to do, and we always, have something else that we can do. If we complete it all, there's always something else we can test. There's always another angle that we can go down. There's always another channel we can go deeper into, okay? And, it's still early days. 90 days is very early here. We work with brands for years, okay? So we're still learning about the customer behavior. We're still getting the LTV dialed in and working closely with the brand as they launch more products. And a couple of other big wins as well. From working with RFB, the brand was able to hit some big milestones. They hit their first ever 100K in a single day, okay, which was amazing for them. And they hit their first ever $1 million month. And really that's what we're looking for when a client comes to work with us, is how can we take what they've already done and how can we just make that so much better? How can we double or triple that? Okay, so this is a very good example of a client that we work with, and this has happened in numerous times, and it will continue to happen as we grow in the future. If you have an e-commerce brand and you're doing over 500K a month and you want to increase your retention revenue through email, SMS, direct mail, WhatsApp, all these other platforms, then you'll be able to book in a call from the link below. Hope you have a great day. Cheers.